welcome to the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. My name is Gurbhej Jassar and I will be your examiner for this part of the IELTS. I'm going to ask you some couple of questions regarding general topic. What's your full name?
My name is Akash Sir.
Where do you come from?
I came from a village Purari, that city that is to be district Freeport and located in another part of India.
Do you like your hometown?
Yes, sir, definitely I like my hometown because that's provided me a lot of facilities and such as well as I am born there and he's quite emotionally attached with me.
What do you like the most about your hometown?
Well, sir, there's several kind of things that I like, but I like the most that's a nature environment of that time because I live in a countryside, so there's a lot of greenery in the industrial wood, so that's what I like and that's the thing I mostly like it.
Let's talk about work or study. Do you work or study?
Well, sir, in current days, I study I'm preparing for my English exam. In future, I would like to be an engineer in a foreign country because on that because in foreign countries there are more opportunity than the Indian, so I like to be an engineer in the future.
Okay, in which department you would like to become an engineer?
Well, sir, I like to join the civil engineering department because that's providing a lot of facilities or such as opportunities. Because in these days, making of buildings or other skyscraper are skyrocketing day by day, so that is quite beneficial for me.
Let's talk about some subjects. Which subject that you liked the most when you were in your school?
Well, sir, there's a couple of subjects that I like, but there is a science subject that I like the most when I was in my when I was in my secondary school because science is quite interesting and the experiment that provided by the teachers is quite good for me. So that's why I like the science the most.
Did you like math subject?
But, I don't say that math is a bad, but I don't like it because and when I was in my secondary school, math is quite difficult for me. Not only for me because in my some of my friends they are think they math are difficult because there are too many numericals in it. Otherwise, math is good.
Let's talk about foreign food. Have you ever tried a foreign food?
Yes, sir. A couple of days ago, me and my friends went to the cafe that not far from my home. That is just a little bit far from my home. Its name is Tello Cafe. There is one particular foreign item that is Italian pizza. That is quite different than the other one that Indian makes. So that time I tried that and it is quite delicious. The finger licking good.
Do you like to try new food?
Also, definitely, I like to try new food because trying a new food gives me the good experiences. Or the sometimes I have a chance to get their recipes because in that ingredients that they use, there are sometimes I like to make at home, so that is quite beneficial for me.
What kind of food you have tried recently?
Also, that I mentioned earlier, a couple of days ago I tried the Italian pizza. That is quite delicious, and they're made of a quite good base. That's a flour making base that is quite soft, and the ingredients are topping with the black olives and some mozzarella cheese on it.
Let's talking about talent. Do you have a talent or something that you are good at?
Well, sir, definitely I have a talent of cooking because I'm quite good in cooking because I cook vegetables and the other foods from when I was in my 10th standard. So that's a talent I mostly appreciate about my parents and my neighbors that appreciate about me.
Do you think your talent can be useful for your future work?
Well, so definitely, my talent is useful for me because I am preparing for my English exam. That is for going to foreign country for higher studies. On that occasions, this talent will be beneficial or I can say helpful for me because on that time no one will over there to help me out. So that is becoming helpful quite helpful for me on that occasion because I have to cook some all of my dishes by myself.
Do you think anyone in your family has the same talent?
But so definitely, my father has the same talent as me because he is quite good in cooking also. I learned some of the skills of regarding cooking from my father.
Okay, so that is the end of the part one, and I will now continue with the part two. I will show you some question, and you will have 1 minute to think about the cue card. And this is your cue card. and I will tell you when to start and when to stop. Okay? You have 1 minute to prepare your cue card. So your cue card is describe a city that you think is very interesting, in which you have to say where it is, what it is famous for, how you knew about this city, and explain why you think this is very interesting. Let's please start.
Well, sir, there are so many cities in all around the world that are quite interesting, or I like to say I would like to live over there, such as London or Toronto in Canada. But here I want to like to do, here I want to grab your attention on a one particular city that I think that is quite interesting or good. That is New York City, that is situated in South United States of America. So because I think it's interesting because there are so much facilities provided by the United States government over there because like such a good communication system or the transportation system as well as there are nature of the individuals who live in their city who live in their city is quite good and quite friendly, and the facility of communication is quite good because in here in India there is a sometimes people mostly face the problems regarding to the network, but in America in New York there are two advanced than the other ones, and also there are too many things that are famous in New York City. There is one particular area that is Manhattan that is quite famous for their infrastructure, such as and the most famous place over there in Manhattan there is a Statue of Liberty that is quite popular all around the world, and a couple of times I've seen the movies and the Times Square also, and because Times Square is quite famous for their lighting system on the and the biggest LEDs that are uh, installed in their buildings. So that is quite good for the advertisement. Otherwise, there's a Central Park that is also quite famous among the people because in Central Park there's too much greenery over there, and there is quite good for the people older peoples to enjoy their leisure time and spend the time with their families. And also the nature wise, New York City is quite good as a nature in the nature because there are quite pollution free than the other cities because the government of America specifically pay their attention to the manage their environment. They are installing such as air filtration system in the most of the buildings, and the trees are very in high amount in their city. So that's the city like to say that is quite interesting, or I can say I would like to live in. So that's
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much for the cue card. Let's move to the part three. So this is a follow-up question regarding the cue card. Why do some people like to visit historical places?
well, sir, there are too many reasons to visit an historical places because most of the individuals like to visit an historical places, or I can say museums, because there are quite good information regarding the histories, and sometimes the museums, or I can say historical places, provide the information regarding to the wars, ancient wars, or the ancient objects such as old machineries, old kind of living styles of the people. So that's why most of the individuals like to visit museums or historical places.
Why do people go to the modern city?
But there are also quite responsible factors to visit in modern cities because there are quite advanced than the other older ones, and because of the advancement, most of the individuals like to go there for seeing the new type of infrastructure, new type of technology that they use in their cities. So that's why most of the people like to visit in the modern cities.
Do you think having too much tourist is a positive thing for historical attraction?
Well, sir, that's based among the country situations. If the country are quite big and have a potential to hold that tourism, so that is quite good for them. Otherwise, if the country is quite weak in their situations, so they don't have to invite too much tourism regarding to the historical places.
Okay, what can we do to stop visitors from damaging historical places?
Also, there are several kind of activities that they do for protecting the historical places. That they have to use some at some useful sign that they are quite helpful to reduce the damaging the historical places, or I can say amusement parks, or they have to build some rules regarding to the damage, or I can say making worse the historical places.
What advantage can tourism bring to a city?
Also, tourism brings that a lot of advantages to the city, or I can say all the nation, because of the tourism, there is an economic boost is the most major benefit for the cities, because if the tourism are rising in one particular city, or I can say one particular nation, so they pay a lot much contribution than the people who live in there. So that's the major factor of tourism among the cities.
Why do some young people like to live in the cities?
Also, young people, most of the young people like to live in the cities because that is quite providing a good kind of a facilities over there. Uh, they're providing a modern art or modern infrastructure, or living standard of the industrial area is quite good, and also the communication system is quite good, or as well as the transport system is also provided by the government is quite good. So there is a facility that most of the youngsters like to live in an industrial area.
Do most elderly people live in the city or in the countryside?
Also, most of the older one people like to live in a countryside, because in the countryside there is a good environment than the industrial area, because industrial area is quite advanced, and most of the factories are installed in the industrial area. So that's why most of the older people like to live in a countryside because of the environment, because of the healthy environment they have to chances having a good health, or as well as the nature of the older people are they like to they become quite good as a nature wise.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. This is the end of your speaking test. Have a nice day.